I've come to think over the course of years that if there is one single virtue that I would love to believe that I had, if there's one single virtue which I think is crucial in other people's lives, it's integrity. But by integrity, I don't mean simply honesty. Honesty is wonderful. I'm all in favor of honesty. If anybody asks you, what did Hymes say about honesty in his last lecture? He came out in favor of it. But I don't mean honesty when I talk about integrity. I mean the word very literally. It's the quality of being an integer, a whole number. It's the quality of being one whole thing. I'll give you my favorite, perhaps odd image for this. It's what happens at your wake. When your spouse talks to your pastor, who talks to your business partner, who speaks to your next door neighbor, who talks to your in-law, who speaks to your children, who talks to your doctor, who speaks to your attorney, that they all know that they met the same person. That you weren't a series of roles that were played. You weren't a series of masks that you wore in different relationships. That they can all say, yeah, that was the one I knew too. That they all knew you because you were one and the same. You had integrity. You were a whole. You were complete. How do you teach? You teach by becoming whole, by becoming who you are, by having integrity, by everyone you come in contact with meeting the same person. So the first way you teach is with integrity. The second way you teach is with generosity. Again, I feel hypocritical speaking of this. And I could speak about it much more easily if I talked about the generosity of the hearers rather than the generosity of the speaker. But it's the effervescence of being. One of the most striking things about existence is the way it bubbles up. I think the name for that effervescence of existence, that bubbling up, that overflowing quality of existence, I think that name for it is joy. It's about having deep delight in what you do and how you live and who the people around you are. It's a sense of immense joy, of immense pleasure in the depth and the truth of one's experience. A lie that I ran across in a 19th century novel, a novel that I don't especially recommend to you, by Henry Adams, called Esther. There's a line in it in which Adams says, and I think this line is the one really memorable statement in the book. Adams says, what a wonderful thing it is to wake in the morning with the mind turned outward instead of in. I've often wondered about this, whether I have a kind of natural bent toward melancholy. In this sense, that it's very easy for my mind to turn in on itself. To get up in the morning and have your mind turned outward, to get up in the morning saying, today I get to do this. Today I get to see that one. Today I get to work with these people. Today I get to be involved in this. And to feel excited, and energized and to be filled with joy by it. That's the most wonderful thing in life. It prevents one from getting trapped with one's thoughts turned inward. I suggest to you that that's one of the ways, one of the qualities that you bring to teaching, to giving yourself away to others, to giving others the fruits of your reflection and your experience. You do it with joy. And most importantly, you do it with confidence in their importance and in the importance of what you have to say. A number of times, graduate students, people, especially sometimes my teaching assistants, my TAs, have asked me over the years, what do you do to become a really good teacher? And I often say to them, look, there's the stuff you immediately expect, the obvious stuff. You know, you plan the lecture and you organize the course and you expect that. But the most important thing you do, the thing that moves you from being a competent and effective teacher, I think, to being a great teacher, is you've got to fall in love with who you teach and fall in love with what you teach. If you are in love with what you teach, if you really are convinced this is so good, so important, so valuable, that it's wonderful to be able to teach it. And if you really fall in love with who you teach, if you really are convinced that those people are so marvelous, so loving, so gifted, so bright, so immensely important, then your desire to give this really great gift to those really great people will force you to become a good teacher. You won't have any way to avoid it. It'll push you and prod you because this is so good and they're so good, they deserve one another. You gotta fall in love with who you teach and what you teach. And that will make you a really good teacher. And what will all of that do? Well, I come back to my beginning. It will allow you to fully exist because it will be a way of giving yourself away. Now, I can't prove logically a single syllable I've said to you this evening. The only demonstration of it is, live it and see if it works. Try it and see what happens. I mean, did you have anything else so important to do with your life? Give it a try. Live as if by giving yourself to others, you will not be able to run out of existence. And I am convinced that you will discover that you cannot not exist. That your existence will be richer and fuller than you ever dreamt. And what does that mean about your destiny? Well, I don't know, but I suspect I'm closer to finding out than you are. That you will, it means, I think, that when you get, as Kierkegaard says, far away in an instant, that when the question is put to you, did you say the quite definite message quite definitely? You'll be able to say yes, because the quite definite message is who you are. You see, the quite definite message that I had to say was Michael Himes. That's a different message than you have to say. But do say it quite definitely, because it's all important. I've always thought that the single most elegant farewell that I know of is Chaucer's at the end of the Canterbury Tales. And I'll paraphrase it to bring to a close what I'm saying to you this evening. Chaucer says, "If I have done any of you any good, I ask you to give thanks to God. And if I have done any of you any harm, I ask you to credit it to my lack of ability and not my lack of will, for I would gladly have done better if I could." Well, I would gladly have done better if I could, but it was the best I had in me. And the thing I wish for you is that sometime in your life, you get a chance to say to people who mean an enormous amount to you what it is that has been truest in your own life. Because it's at a moment like that that you know that everything you gave away has been given back in spades. Thank you very much.